Niche Middle Eastern fragrances. Let's talk about it.
Here's some codes to save you some cash on your next Middle Eastern niche or designer fragrances.
What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Today, we're talking about a niche fragrance brand from Saudi Arabia. This is called Laverne. I've already spoken about one of these fragrances, and it's called Blue Laverne, and it's one of my most enjoyed. Actually, it's my favorite from the brand as of today. It smells kind of like a hybrid between Versace Dylan Blue and Chanel Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Now, I'm not saying that that's actually what it is, but I'm just going to give you guys that as a descriptor. So Dylan Blue is known for its ambroxan, blue vibes, some peppers, citruses with a distinct incense. And Chanel Allure Homme is known for like this lemon shaving cream. So fresh, citrusy, and musky. This smells like it could be exactly a hybrid of that. It is pretty unique, and I'm not going to say that that's actually what they're doing here. It has a couple more accords and different nuances that you're going to pick up than both of those fragrances. Pretty unique in my opinion, and I really enjoy it. Now, when you think about niche fragrances and Middle Eastern fragrances, two things might pop into mind. Number one, niche, it's going to be expensive. Well, the thing with a lot of these fragrances is they're not too expensive. Designer fragrances nowadays, you get a 2 ounce of an elixir, it's like 180 bucks at retail. These are not even 150 bucks, and I can tell you right now that they last longer. They definitely last longer. Second thing that might pop into mind when you think Middle Eastern fragrances is a stereotype. Oh, okay, so it's gonna be oudi, it's gonna be spicy. But that's not always the case. There are a lot of fresh fragrances, and believe it or not, oud is used as a blanket term for just fragrances. I've gotten numerous messages actually where, brother, can you suggest to me a fresh oud fragrance? And I'll dig in and ask a little bit more. Okay, you want oud in the fragrance? They say, no, I just want fresh oud. And in fact, he's just referring to fragrance. And also, not all Middle Eastern fragrances have funk nor oud at the same time. They are going to be different because they come from different regions. You know, Middle Eastern fragrances are going to smell a little bit different because they use different fixatives, and our palates here in the States could be, you know, significantly different. Not only is it because the tastes vary, but also sometimes the fixatives could vary as well. Obviously, they're going to have sourced different materials, etc., and performance in the Middle East is a big thing. If it doesn't last at least a day, it's not a good fragrance. That's just the general rule of thumb. While French perfumery, Italian perfumery, and designer perfumery, for the most part, I'm not going to say all of them here in the States, is relatively lighter, and they like more diffusive fragrances. They don't like something that's going to punch you in the nose or in the face, and yeah. In the East though, they do, and they love it. I love it too. And for the most part, Laverne, the ones that I've tried, they're not shy in the performance department either. So I've spoken on this one, Blue Laverne. I really enjoy this one. Where I picked it up, I'll leave it down in the description of the coupon code. You can save some cash. But this one in specific, they don't carry it anymore. They do, however, have Blue Bahur, which is in the same style bottle, just 200 mLs. It's bigger and it's the same price. It does smell a little bit different though. It smells like Imperial Valley by Qissa with its own little twists. So it's like musky leather and oud, basically. It's pretty unisex in my opinion, but for darker tastes for sure. I don't know why they don't have this anymore, but if you can find it and you enjoyed my descriptors, check out my full-length review and you can find more out about that. Today I picked up Phantom, and I actually got a wear-in for this one, and I wore it to the wrong place, to be honest with you guys. I rocked it to the gym, but that's generally my daily routine, and I test all of my fragrances daily. So this is going to be this ambery, spicy, leather and oud-based fragrance, starting right off the bat. It is pretty aromatic, and there's much more to the fragrance than just those descriptors, really. On initial blast of this fragrance, you're gonna get a pretty spicy fragrance. A lot of black pepper and this spicy saffron, but the saffron does have leather undertones, which works really well in this fragrance, and it actually synchronizes pretty well with the leather in the base. So it kind of allows for a much smoother transition down into the dry downs. Right off the top, you're gonna get this leather accord, but it's not gonna be distinctively just supple, fatty leather, not yet at least. In the mid, there's noted that rose, the patchouli, and some of that carnation and sage, and you're gonna get mostly sage. So it becomes extremely spicy and aromatic. So at the top, it's pretty spicy, but also aromatic. Distinctive sage nuance here, and actually smells pretty natural sage. The sage is essentially maramia. So if you know what maramia tea is, or sage tea, that's the note you're gonna get with this one. So off the top, you're gonna get a spicy saffron with leather undertones. It's not a metallic type of saffron, which it can go in multitude of ways. So for the most part, during that opening, you're gonna get those three accords. These peppers, leather undertone with a lot of that sage or aromatic sage. Behind all of this, you are gonna pick up some rose as well. So if you don't enjoy rose fragrances, you're not likely to enjoy this one. I find this one to be pretty unisex, but it's for women who enjoy spicier, darker, oudi-based fragrances. So ladies, if you like that, you're gonna get away with this one easily. For me personally, I wore for it, and I didn't feel like it was a non-masculine fragrance. In fact, I found this to lean a little bit more masculine than it would feminine. But there are definitely some traits to this. It's the floral aspects from the carnation and the rose. The top to mid to dry down in this fragrance is actually a pretty quick transition. So within 20 to 30 minutes of wearing this fragrance, I got smacked by this super rich and dense leather accord. And really what maintained or what stayed throughout the entirety of the fragrance was also the aromatic sage. The aromatic sage kind of just pops out, sticks out. It's supported by some of those peppers. You get like this blanket of rose and some floral nuances, but mostly it's going to be this rich, creamy leather fragrance. There is oud also in the fragrance. It just kind of adds like this backbone of oud, you know, a woodsy DNA. But for the most part, it's going to be this leather aromatic fragrance with a backdrop of some of that rose and oud. That's pretty much it with this fragrance. Starts off spicy, transitions into more aromatic, and then it adopts this creamy leather fragrance, while the oud and rose combination are also doing their thing in the background. But in combination together, it makes this right here, Phantom. Not a bad fragrance by any means, but extremely rich. And I mean extremely rich. If you spray this too much, you can give yourself a headache, but it does give it points in the performance department. Gentlemen and ladies, if you enjoy oud rose combinations, but you also like leather and aromatic fragrances, this is a combination of both of those. The one note that I didn't really focus on or mention much of is going to be the patchouli, and I just found that this patchouli really works in tandem with the oud to kind of just illustrate more of this oud accord. But the leather is definitely the main player here for sure. So Phantom by Laverne. Not bad. It smells expensive. The scent profile definitely smells expensive, lasts a hell of a long time. Not going to be my favorite from the entire DNA or from the lineup, but if you enjoy leather fragrances, this one, it's not bad. To kind of wrap things up, I want to draw a few resemblances to certain fragrances or give you guys a little bit more of an idea, because it really is hard to draw relationships between some of these fragrances, but especially going into a blind buy with a lot of these fragrances, which you have to end up doing, you really don't know what to expect. So a couple of fragrances that I think of personally whenever I think leather fragrances, sweet and oud, for whatever reason, Armani Code pops into mind. This is nothing like the Armani Code series, but rather what pops into mind when I think about this is a louder, stronger, and denser version of something like Irish leather. Irish leather to me has like this super spicy aromatic leather fragrance. It's creamy, fresh green leather is essentially what that one smells like. This reminds me of that with more, with that oud rose combination on top of Irish leather. So if Irish leather added Turkish rose and oud, that's what this one would be. The quality for the scent profile, this one is definitely a 10 out of 10. And at the price tag of around 130 bucks, I definitely think that you're getting the value of the quality of ingredients of this fragrance. I don't want to give the scent profile a rating just because of the fact that our tastes can differ, but rather rely on some of those descriptors to really determine whether or not this is going to be for you. I did the best that I could with the descriptions and giving you guys a bunch of comparisons, etc. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if it was of any value to you, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and until the next video, peace.